Should you collect a security deposit as a Chicago landlord when you go to rent out your place? That's what we're going to cover here today. I'm Mark Ainley, partner, founder, GC Realty Development, Chicago's responsive property manager, and also co-host of Chicago's #1 real estate investing podcast, @ChicagoInvestor. So check that out. But what we want to talk about here today is security deposits. And I'm not going to go into every single detail. We're going to kind of talk high level. Should you and why shouldn't you? And I'm not giving you any legal advice here. Maybe you want to consult with your attorney. Maybe you want to consult with AI, however you get your legal advice these days. But what I want to really go over is your couple options. Yes, you can collect a security deposit, but there's a lot of things you have to jump through, a lot of hoops you have to jump through. You have to make sure it's announced on the first page of your lease. You have to put what bank you're holding into, the bank's address. It has to be a bank within a certain location. I believe it has to be in Cook County. You have to make sure that you are paying interest on an annual basis. You have to make sure that you're just following a whole bunch of set of rules that is all part of the Chicago residential landlord tenant ordinance that you should be reviewing no matter what if you're just a landlord here in Chicago. But yes, you could collect security deposit, but most people don't, right? Most people will go to a non-refundable move-in fee in place of collecting a security deposit. And the reason people do that is they just look at the risks. So if you mess any of these things up on the security deposit side, the penalties are huge. And it can happen, you could get into legal issues without ever having the chance to even rectify maybe something you might have done wrong, or maybe you didn't even do anything wrong. And allegedly, a tenant goes to an attorney, which they usually get pro bono services from different resident, let's call it tenant organizations that will help provide free legal counsel. And then they bring suit on you as a landlord. And ultimately, you have to defend that. And these are really hard to defend. That's what makes it really tough. Once these cases, maybe security deposit or lease cases, end up in court, they're really hard to defend and timely. And obviously, you got to spend more money defending it. So ultimately, the penalties end up being 2 times the security deposit. Plus, you have to pay for the tenant's attorney fees. So when you think about that, if you have a $3,000 or $4,000 unit, you could literally have a $10,000 problem. Maybe only just because you didn't pay a 5 or 6 cents interest payment within the 30-day window after that first 12-month period. So we started talking about it. People will end up doing non-refundable moving fees. And the one thing that I see a lot of people get in trouble for is they try collecting a non-refundable moving fee that's like 60 or 70% of the rent. And that is technically a security deposit. So anything over 49% of the monthly rent. So if you have easy numbers, if you have a $2,000 unit, if you're going to charge a non-refundable moving fee, you cannot charge more than $999. So that being said, obviously you take this non-refundable moving fee and it provides you less coverage, right? If tenant doesn't pay last month's rent, now you only have $999 in that $2,000 scenario I said. So, but at the same time, you're getting rid of all that potential risk that you could have if you actually collect a security deposit and maybe made a mistake or maybe just got in bad terms with your tenant and the tenant wanted to retaliate against you even. I see it happen. I'll say this, most tenants are good. I want to make sure no one thinks that I'm bashing tenants here, but most tenants are good. But when you get into a situation as a landlord, maybe you're a bad landlord and you put yourself in a situation. So even if you're not the best and maybe bad landlords are just people that haven't done it enough or maybe they don't have time and they should hire a property manager like GC Realty. But it's really easy to get yourself in hot water with security deposits, and people gravitate towards non-refundable moving fees and just basically to overall reduce your risk. So if you have additional questions on security deposit or non-refundable moving fees, there's other alternatives out there. There's certain bonds that you can make tenants purchase in order to offset that risk. There's different security deposit alternatives. They're not as popular here in Chicago, but they've taken off in other places like New York and California. But right now, most landlords in Chicago are collecting non-refundable moving fees. So if you have additional questions on any of that, if you have additional questions on just general leasing, or maybe you're looking to buy back some of your time and be able to outsource your property management, we're happy to help you. Reach out anytime. We'd love to talk soon.